Firstly, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Melbourne.
Thank you very much, Raf, for having me on your show, and it's wonderful to be back here in Melbourne.
Tell me, I wonder if you remember the first time you did a film and you thought, yes, this is what I am going to do with my life. Do you remember that?
I remember the first time I saw the rushes. I'd never seen the dailies, what you call dailies. So the first time I saw the dailies of my film, Raju Ban Gaya Gentleman, and I remember seeing them in a studio called RK at about 8 or 9 p.m. And there used to be a late night flight at 4 a.m., early morning flight to Delhi. And I thought it was so awful. I packed my bags and I went to the airport. I said, I can't act in films. I think I looked really bad. I acted very badly. All that I thought of acting or I thought I could achieve, it was completely not there. So I went away. Then my director had to coerce me back, that, listen, you have to finish the film that you've started. Yeah. So the first time I saw myself, I came to the conclusion, this is not for me.
So what changed your mind? I wonder if, do you have the same doubt every time? Or are you now confident, yep, every time I do it, I know what's going to work?
I don't have doubt. And I was sitting with 2 evenings ago, all new actors I was just chatting with. And, they're kind enough to say, look, we've grown up watching you and we'd like to hear about acting. And the only thing I could tell them was that, even now, I have no understanding of what I'm doing. The only thing I think has made me go on for so long is that I don't know how to get it right. And as soon as the day I know it's going to go right, I think acting gets over. At least that's how it is for me. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I, do a shot. I don't look at the screen. I just look for the director to hopefully say, okay, and move on. I don't even want to ask him or her that, why was it good? Because I won't be able to do it again. Also, it gives me an excuse not to work hard, I guess.
I've tried to explain to a lot of the people who are listening to this how famous you are. And I've rolled up this idea that you're actually a bit more famous if you rolled Shane Warne, Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt into one. In terms of the people who know you, so there are billions of people who know you. You've made hundreds of films. How do you keep going? That's a pretty intense thing. You get recognised everywhere you go. You've churned out hundreds of films. What keeps you going?
At a personal level, I'm actually extremely simple, Raf. I have no idea what keeps me going that way. I just have this great yearning to not be myself. And it's a strange thing to say, you're a movie star and people recognize you and pictures are taken and, kind of a lot of young people. And I'm so fortunate, one, to be like me in terms of, the achievements or have a good life like mine. And God has been very kind to me. It's strange, I just don't want to be me. If somebody woke up with that feeling that you don't want to be you and then you got this opportunity to be an actor.
So you're playing the whole time?
Yeah, so it's an amazing fit. I wake up and I don't want to be me and I can be Batman today. And, I can be Robin the next day. I can be XYZ. They pay me for it also, for not being me. So it's something that I really enjoy doing. I really enjoy not being me. And that keeps me going. I guess the day I rest with the thought that, okay, this is me and I'm very happy. If I was very comfortable being me, I'm shy, I'm reclusive, I'm reticent, I'm quiet. In personal life, all the things that I'm not on screen and my public life, because I have to act that out and I really enjoy doing it. But on my own, I'm extremely simple. And then because I don't have to play act at home or when I'm not acting, then I have a lot of energy left. So I'm really ready to go every morning and say, okay, let's be this. And I'm really enjoying myself.
Shah Rukh Khan is with us on ABC Radio Melbourne.
Who's very famous.
He's incredibly famous.
Harrison Ford, Shane Warne,
and Shane Warne all rolled into one.
All rolled into one.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
You take that?
Not fair to them, but fair to me.
Fair to you. You voiced the Lion King movie, and your son was also in that. So you replaced James Earl Jones, and I think your son replaced Donald Glover. I just wonder, what advice do you give him about being in movies? My son is studying film production at USC. And he wants to be a filmmaker and a writer. And many years ago, I think it's an Australian director who made this beautiful film, The Incredibles. Yes.
He's an Australian filmmaker, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember
the Pixar film, The Incredibles.
Yeah, the Pixar film, yeah. And many years ago, when he was about 9 years old and I was 20, we both we dubbed that film. It's been 11 years. He came back from America on summer holidays. And, we were just sitting and somebody, some friend from Disney said, would you like to voice this again? So for us, it was like a father-son bonding after 11 years of doing the same thing. Like Incredible, we played the father and son. And
so this is your father-son time?
Yeah, and we took a long time. Normally I would dub in a day, and I'm sure that what was given to him also should not have taken that long. But we took 5-6 nights. We used to go at 8 p.m., come back at 6 a.m.
Wow.
Just jam together, hang together. And one of the things I thought, if he wants to be a filmmaker, I think it's important that you should know every aspect of filmmaking. It develops patience apart from knowledge. Yes. And I think dubbing or, using your voice or modulating it, even if you're not planning to be an actor, even if you're trying to be a storyteller, I think it's important to know what people go through. Yes. So I guess he realized that. When he started dubbing, I told him, you go, you say it, how you feel it, and then you'll realize more often than not, you're not sounding or you're not looking or you're not feeling as good as you think you are. I think that's a strange thing about creativity, that it always has a little more that you can add to without killing it or destroying it, and you have to keep trying it without the trial showing.
Like a flame you have to nurture.
Yeah, you have to nurture, and it should not seem that you're trying too hard. It should flow from you naturally. It's like rehearsing a lot, so much that it becomes natural, doesn't look rehearsed.
I got so many requests on Twitter to ask you questions, so if I can just rattle through a few things.
He's the one who wrote on Twitter, send me questions for Shah Rukh
That was
Khan.
me, yes, that was me.
Epstein.
That's my name, yes,
okay.
Rafael Epstein. A lot of people want to know, they want life advice on everything, their careers, their education, everything. What would you say to them? It's not an easy question.
Yeah, it's not an easy question. But I just say two things.
Neil Joshi sent that question.
Neil and everyone who sent questions to Epstein, thank you very much. I may not be able to answer them as well as you would like to hear them from me, but I'd say just keep it very simple. I truly, truly believe that if we can be, 51% good, 49% bad, if you're always on the right side of good, things will turn out well. There was a line, which of course was not original, but in Hindi, in one of the movies called Om Shanti Om, that at the end, everything will turn out all right. If it's not all right, it's not the end yet. So you just have to wait for a little more. Just when you're about to give up, in happiness, in sadness, in goodness, in tough times, in love, in relationships, in family, if you hold on, I think that's the truth of life and God. That if you can just hold on longer than you think you can, you'll fly. I think in every aspect. So whether it's work, just when you think, no, I can't take it anymore, just take it a little more, and it'll turn out well. In relationships, I think patience is too easy to say it, but I think if you can just hold on to things a little longer than you think you can, it'll turn out well.
There was a remarkable moment in the press conference when my colleague from SBS, she wanted everyone at the panel for the press conference to talk about Kashmir, and no one, I think, really wanted to. A lot of people want you to say more things about politics. Why don't you?
Because you have to have platforms where you can say it. It's fortunate that we have an amazing platform on social media, and it's unfortunate at the same time that because there's so many people giving inputs and so many inputs onto social media, sometimes the essence of what you say gets lost in so many of the messages that come through.
They wanted you to make speeches about Kashmir and Hindu nationalism and...
Yeah, so 3-4 years ago, I experienced that, if there's a platform where I can explain myself and that whole thing, what I say, can be taken without being edited or misinterpreted or misrepresented or misconstrued or mistaken. If you can do that, I would love to speak on any subject, but I realized because not only am I handsome and sexy, I'm just very smart also.
Yes, all of those things.
So I said, if I'm so smart, I should only talk to smart people on smart platforms and not allow myself to get completely taken in by platforms where people perhaps, due to lack of time or lack of details, are not being fully smart. So whenever anything is asked to me which is in the purview of smartness, then I wait for a smart platform. So if you can give me a platform, next time where you want to talk politics, we'll sit down and talk for 4 hours. I've got amazing views on politics.
Look, I'm being wound up, but everyone will want to know, how do they get followed on Twitter? How do they get seen by you and noticed by you on Twitter? Any tips?
I just want to tell everyone, including you now, even if I don't follow you, I read everything on Twitter. There are two times a day that I do it. Nowadays, I'm not shooting so often, but when I go to the studio, and when I'm coming back from the studio. That's the only 2 times I use the telephone, actually, apart from if I have to make a call to my wife or kids. So I sit down and read everything that people have written on Twitter. Sometimes I don't reply to it, but I assume, being an actor, that even if you don't read me, you feel me. And let me tell everyone I feel you too.
Shah Rukh Khan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Epstein. God bless you. Thank you so much.